Hi, Felicia. I'm not sure exactly what your specific question is on graphing lines, but I'll start with this example and hopefully this will help you come up with the other questions that you have. So in this particular example, we're asked to graph the equation of the line 7y minus 5x equals negative 35. So before we graph that line, just remember in general, the equation of any line is always written in the form of y is equal to some mx plus b, where m is the slope of the line. So it tells you the steepness of the line and whether that line is increasing or decreasing based on the sign of the slope. So if that slope is negative, you know that your line is decreasing. And if that slope is positive, your line is increasing. And b is what we call the y-intercept. So the y-intercept, whatever value b is, it's the x, it's the y value. So it's the y value of a point on that line. So whatever b is, it's going to be some number. It's the y value when the x value is 0. So we call that the y-intercept. So if I want to graph this equation right down here, then the first thing I need to do is I need to rewrite this equation using a little bit of algebra to get it into the form of y equals mx plus b. Because once you have it in the form of y equals mx plus b, you can see the slope and the y-intercept, and from there you can graph it. Okay, so let's do a little bit of algebra on the right here. I'll use green to use inverse operations, and let's try and solve this equation for y. Okay, and I want to get it into the form of y is equal to mx plus b. So let's first add 5x to both sides of the equal sign. And so on the left here, that leaves me with 7y is equal to, and I'll write this as 5x minus 35. And then the last thing I need to do is divide out that 7. So you got to make sure that whatever you do to the left, you do the same thing to every single term on the right. So I have to divide out that 5x and that negative 35 by 7. That's going to cancel out on the right. So on the left here, I have y, and on the right, I'm going to have 5, 7x minus 5. So here, hopefully you can see that we've got the equation written in slope-intercept form. So it's written in the form of y is equal to some mx plus b, where here we can see that m is 5 sevenths, so that's the slope of the line, and that b value, negative 5, that's your y-intercept. And so we can write the y-intercept as a point, and that's the point 0, comma, negative 5, where x is 0 and y is negative 5. So anytime that you have a slope and at least one point, that's enough for you to graph the equation of the line. So you always start with the point. So let's start with that point 0, comma, negative 5. So I'm going to graph it on the left here. So let's find the point when x is 0 and then y is negative 5. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that's my first point. That's the y-intercept. Now to get the second point, because you need 2 points to connect them to make a line, we're going to use the slope now to help us find the second point. So if we use the slope 5 over 7, that tells us to rise up 5 units and then run 7 units to the right. And I'm saying right because it's a positive number. And if it was negative, I would run it to the left. So now I'm going to go back to the graph. Let's go up 5 units. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go over to the right 7 units. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the point 7, right? And then that's my second point. So here we have 2 points. And then if we connect these 2 points with a, oops, let me try that again. If we connect these 2 points with a line, this is the equation, or that's the graph of the equation. Y is equal to 5, 7x minus 5. So I hope that helps.